Usually the things that are long and creative and thought out and this long process and analysis paralysis doesn't perform. It's the stuff that I randomly shoot, took me 30 seconds and I threw it together and it blows up. So what does that tell you? Work smarter, not harder, right? These overly curated things just, is it too perfect? Is it too put together? Whatever the reason is, they want something quick and easy.
Thanks for doing this.
Absolutely.
Good to hang out again.
Invite.
Boy, we haven't been on camera together in a long time, but when we are, we have fun, don't we? So let's jump right into this. I mean, we headline this with creating trust is a big one. Creating trust is something everybody needs in every industry, but the fact that so much of this has gone to video and online, there's a certain experience that we've had over the years that I think is very helpful. So where I want to start is where we started back in the day. A young reporter, we're heading out on the scene, we got to interview somebody. And right in that moment, you're talking to a complete stranger about something that just happened, that clearly everybody's up in arms about. And we got to build trust right then and there. So let's kind of go back and talk about a little bit of that, right? Some of the early days and what it was like for you.
You know what's crazy about that is, and I'm gonna jump forward just for a second. Sure. And then rewind, because when I left TV news, the big question, well, I actually left twice. I don't know if you guys know that. The first time I left, prior to that, we have 2 kids and a lot of mom guilt and all of these things, working mom. Prior to that though, I mean, number one, this was the job I always wanted. I got the job that I always wanted, which was incredible. But my biggest hang up of leaving, prior to leaving, was what exactly can I do outside of TV news? Because I didn't think that my job actually translated what I'm gonna call the real world. What most people see on a daily basis in your living room, your bathroom, your bedroom, is this glamorous, put together, and for a lack of a better explanation, perfect world, right? Because when you're behind the anchor desk or in the field, the perception is to be perfect. You can't make a mistake because that's how you build the trust, right? You've got to know and have that ability for people to look at you and think that you know everything about fracking or about the situation. I mean, I'm using fracking as an example because I originally am from Chicago. My first affiliate job was in Midland, Texas. So I got a real quick learn on fracking. Had no idea what it was. I'm also not a math person. So this was like, you learn on the job very, very quickly. Jumping to that point of being able to tell people's stories was always the job that I wanted, right? I think that's why people go into that business and have the longevity that we had. If you want to be a talking head, perhaps you're not going to be in there long enough. I mean, there are people that have done that for a long time and just sat in that position and not really gone out into the field, but it's a skill. And when I worked in Midland, those people were weeded out very, very quickly because you are your own boss. You have people to respond to that know, like, your deadline is 5 o'clock, but you basically are out for the next 7, 9, 10 hours doing your job.
It's like you're on the honors system.
You're coming back with a story, and so you've got to go get it no matter what, right? Because now you have a team of 30 people back there that have already slated you for this, lead story at 5. Well, I mean, I have no choice. I've got to do it. So you go out into the world and have to do these stories and meeting people literally 99.9% of the time on the absolute worst day of their lives.
Bingo.
Total strangers. They have just lost their loved one. Maybe they were, kidnapped, whatever. You can come up with it. And here comes this stranger. And quite honestly, it could be a multitude of us standing on the door and knocking, because now we've all figured it out. The goal was to find the house first, right? And this happened at all hours of the day, 4 o'clock in the morning, you're just rolling up on people. And I would have these conversations with my photographer, like, look, dude, we got 30 minutes. We need the story. We're not leaving until we get it. But there's a way to do that, right? And we had 30 minutes to get it done, but literally we had 5 minutes to create the relationship, maybe 3.
Right.
So it all depends. Like, I never went into a situation rolling unless it was a bad guy that I knew I wasn't probably going to get anything. But if it was somebody that literally was going through their worst nightmare, never went up to their house rolling, ever. It was just my policy. I never did it. I always thought it was so intrusive, and I needed them to look at me in the eyes first. And you know, you just talk to them. You talk to them like they're human. You look them in the face, just like you're having a conversation with a potential buyer and somebody's looking around, or they're not looking at you, and you're, you know, or they're looking at their phone. It's the same thing. They're not interested in you. Why am I going to tell you my whole life story? Or why am I going to let you take the biggest investment that I've ever made and do whatever you want with it, right? I mean, I'm trying to relate to your business, right? It's a belly to belly. You guys are in a belly to belly business, and so were we.
That's right.
And that also over the years has really dissipated because of social media, right? Everybody's on their phones and we're not making that contact. So we're having to teach our kids what that is like. And that's the thing, I think you as well, being in the business that we're in, I always said to my kids, no matter what, you are responding and you're making eye contact with people.
That's right.
No one's above you, no one's below you, everybody's on the same page.
Well, and then we had to figure out now, how do we translate that into what's next? Because it was one way for so long. You were either, okay, we're through the camera to you.
Yes.
So you're right there. Or to your point, belly to belly, the ones out in the field, out in the mix. And now you say, okay, this is a new world. I have to be able to take what worked belly to belly and try to make it work through the camera, right? And I think that's one of the harder things to do. Can we talk a little bit about these days, how you're showing up every day, all the time, and bringing that authentic part to the camera? How does that, like, how much harder is that than belly to belly? Because I feel like we're just more natural there. Like, we read a prompter for a long time, but I know, and Bob, you've asked me about some of my videos in the past, sometimes I take 3, 4, 5 takes before I'm actually like, okay, and you're farther ahead of me on this, or further ahead now.
So, well, what's interesting, and so I left TV on the news side in 2015, and then I went back in 2017. I was like, whoo, when I left, my husband's like, it's like you just got paroled. I'm like, I got paroled. And you know, and one of the news director at the time, Rick McFarland, I walked out. I've got some really great stories too, and I'll share some of these mind-blowing stories. Hopefully I have time for it. He looked at me and he said, you know, you can always come back. And I thought, and I walked out, I'm like, that guy was crazy. And 2 years later, I came back. However, it was on my terms, but the reason why I'm telling you guys this is because I went from a perfect world, perfection, reading everything. You didn't go on the air without cold reading, or in a field where I'm like, no, I got the detail, I got it, let's go. You could ask me any question about anything. Honestly, if there was a fire down the street, we could roll down and do a live shot.
That's right.
Not a problem. We could talk our way through a police chase that we have no information on, right? You're just coming up with it. When I went back to Houston Life, that show is not scripted. And so it took me a long minute, because I was so used to sitting in that chair and reading and knowing what was coming next, right? And I was like, what do you mean there's no script? Oh my God, we're just talking? We're ad-libbing?
As one of our
like,
producers used to say, just vamp.
Just vamp. And I'm like, what? How? You know, like because you were so cognizant of timing and all these things. And I remember
perfection, right?
And perfection. And I will tell you this, and this is something that I've said this to Derek many times, because it's my thank you to him. It's one time I was telling him, like, this is really hard for me because I'm so used to a script. I'm so used to being on perfect and like staying on task. And he was like, perfect is boring.
Yes.
Perfect is boring. And nobody's perfect. So once I realized that, I was able to, like, that's where that shined. And that's where I think I also grew and found something internally that I was like, you know what, it's okay to make mistakes. Honestly, the amount of stories that I do in a day, it's a grind. It is an absolute grind. You cannot go dark on social media. There's always something that I have to be posting and talking about. And it's curated. Not everything is happening in real time, but I am showing up there on a daily basis. You will hear me say, you will hear me, as I just did recently, I called a movie that we went to the wrong name, didn't even know it. Somebody was like, do you mean this movie? I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. I've been calling it the wrong name for 3 days. And I talked about it in a story, like, oh, by the way, that movie, it's not called that. It's not called Decision Day, it's called, or whatever. I don't know, I don't even know what I was calling it. The new, I mean, but like, hey, I mean, we're human. I've got 9 things going on, just like everybody else. But I don't go back and redo it, because that's just what happened in the moment, right? And
learning
that's who I am.
Yeah.
Like if I can forget a word for a minute and resonate that with somebody that, oh my God, I'm going through that too. Hey girl, you're not alone.
But you think Houston Life helped really in a big way prepare you for that?
And 100%, because I was, I guess, pigeonholed, right? I mean, not that you don't ad lib. When you read a prompter, and you know this, there are words that I don't like to say. Yep. And there are words that I know, or I'm going to describe a scene, and I can see in the teleprompter, but I'm like, nope. The words that are coming out of our mouth are already gone in the teleprompter. Like, we're reading below what's coming out of our mouth.
What you're looking at and what you're saying was never the same.
Never the same.
Yeah.
And so it literally, we were reading ahead, so I could see shots rang out. Not saying that, like, you could ad lib it, as long as the control room still basically had, without getting into the nitty gritty of everything, they still knew when to get to the next story or roll the video. Like, all of that never changed.
Talking about a team, and we'll talk more about a team, but television is a team sport. Radio is one person with a button and a microphone. Television requires orchestration.
Yes.
So one person pushing a button, one person rolling a tape, one person doing a camera, one person talking, and they all have to do it together at the right time.
Yes.
And the best ones, we have ears, and we use our senses, whichever ones we can use. Our eyes are focused on the prompter, so we have peripheral vision, or we have ears, or we smack each other under the camera.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm going to die.
There's so many ways to communicate non-verbally while a show's going on.
Yes.
To her point, when you have that team and everyone working in concert together, that's when the magic happens.
Now, also, so I did weekend mornings for a long time, and that was a solo anchor show. And that also, I thought about this the other day, and you just made me think about it again. That gave me a lot of knowledge and preparation, unbeknownst to me, for social media. Because as a single anchor for a 2.5, 3 hour morning show, it was me alone and a guy behind a camera, and like, and it was Craig. Right? Or I mean, yeah. It was Corey, I mean, it was like, those are the people that I was bouncing off a joke to. I had no one to.
Even the weather guys back in the corner
wasn't
right?
listening.
Like in their office.
Yeah. So it was like, or eventually I used everybody at home to get my joke. Like, I was kind of like, I'd look in the camera and I'd be like, right, right. It's like
social media had been starting too, so we were getting feedback. I mean, email in the beginning, but then,
yes.
over time it grew.
Right.
Instant feedback.
Instant
from the
feedback.
Yeah.
But that's really where I became aware and treating that camera like a person. Not that we didn't before, but it was like the person at home understood what I was saying without saying it. Like, haha, we're both laughing together, but even though we're not in the same room, but we are in the same room. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Well, they teach broadcasters in the early days, you are talking to one person. It's like, hey guys, like, take it easy. How do you know there's a bunch of guys? Let's just try
there's one
person, right? And to hone in on that relationship with the camera. What a great way to describe how social media works these days, because this is your only chance at authenticity and making that authentic connection.
Yes.
Is the camera. Because belly to belly, I may never see you.
Right. And honestly, like, and I don't think it's like this today, but back in the day, people would have their TVs on all day, or for a period of time. Maybe they are on all day, but, you literally have 3 seconds for people to stay with you on your phone, because that's all the retention they have. They don't like what they see. 9 out of 10 times the audio's not even on, so they got to either click the audio. If there's no captions, they don't. No, not going to bother.
That's right.
I do that.
Yep.
I'm guilty of it as well. So And I know how important it is to watch those of my friends and of other influencers, right? I know that because the longer they watch, the longer I watch or they watch, translates into metrics. So if you're passing past a slide, you have no interest, but that gets recorded in the analytics.
Right.
How many times was skipped? What's the average watch rate? You know, so all of it is still the same, but our habits have changed as viewers. We are now instantaneous. Nobody's waiting till 10 p.m. for the news.
Right.
It's
they're not waiting 10 seconds for your social media video.
No.
Yeah.
So you've got to get them. You've got to get them with a hook, and that is I wish I could tell you what that magic formula is, because every post and every story is completely different. The hook is completely different.
And a hook that works one day may not work the next. That's very true.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one that happened to me randomly this week. My son and I went to the World Cup Germany and Curacao game in Houston, and I posted a video because we love the song. Germany scored 7 times. And we love the song so much, I posted a video about it. But I posted the English version, not the German. I pissed off 1 million Germans. 1.5 million. 1.5 million views later.
Yeah.
And they're all like, all the comments are in German. I'm like, I was like, I'm sorry. So I redid it with the German version, and that only got about 150,000, which just still outperformed all of my metrics. But there's an example of a hook, which was Germany, the soccer ball, the sound, like everything came together for the shares. Tens of thousands of shares came in. And I didn't even mean to do that. So sometimes I think it's harder if we overthink it, right? Sometimes like your first reaction, it's like, no, I love this. Like we did one earlier, you'll see probably next week. It's a Netflix joke, a trend that we're working on. But like that one, you came up with it in the moment. We figured out what the joke was in the moment, and we shot it. And if we weren't together and we weren't just doing this right now, it never would have happened.
Yeah. Well, and when I first started, when I made the transition from TV to whatever you want to call it, influencing, digital creating, whatever, to this space, I was constantly chasing my tail, because there's not A to Z. I knew exactly what I needed to do the news, or tell a story, or write a story, do all those things. I had a roadmap daily. There's no roadmap here. Every day, I mean, it's basically create it and make it and throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. And I was running myself crazy. I was up editing late at night, and I was posting every single day, and I'm like, this is exhausting. I'm exhausted, and quite honestly, I'm not even enjoying all of this. And then once I figured out, like, oh, wait a minute, I don't need to do it like that. I don't need to work that hard every single day. So I manage my schedule a little bit better. And to your point of what we just shot earlier for funny videos, whatever, and I shared this earlier too, that usually the things that are long and creative and thought out in this long process and analysis paralysis doesn't perform. It doesn't. It's the stuff that I randomly shoot, took me 30 seconds, and I threw it together, and it blows up. So what does that tell you? Work smarter, not harder, right?
Gut,
like,
right?
Yeah, and trust your gut, because like these overly curated things just don't, I don't know, people don't like it, or they don't, it's too, again, is it too perfect? Is it too put together? Whatever the reason is, they want something quick and easy.
And I think over time too, the more you do, and the more you see what performs and what works for you, the hooks and things start to come easier. The ideas start to come easier, because you can work off of what you've done. Like when we would do a story back in the day, maybe you ask a question a certain way and you get a certain answer, and you go, this is how I'm doing it from here on out. You know, like I got it. I got my thing, my walk and talk. Whatever your thing is, you're going to figure that part out. And if we want to talk later when the podcast is over, I can certainly help you with some of that. I have a lot of ideas and things, but the creativity is not always easy.
It's not, yeah.
Right? And I mean, and you may even have it easier than some, because okay, you have a brand deal, right? And it's like, well, we know what they want. They're pitching a certain makeup or something. So at least you have a goal and a product, similar to real estate, right? You've got a property, you've got something. So there is a lead. There's always something there. It's just like, what do we do with it? Is it another you know, and we don't have to stress ourselves out by saying this one day we have to do all of this. We can plan ahead.
Yes.
We can schedule. This is where the team comes in and the tools. One of the reasons that when I was getting into real estate, I joined Real Edge Network with Bob and Paige and Holly. Well, first of all, I've known Paige through a mutual friend for many years, and I have the utmost respect for her. And of course, meeting Bob and knowing everybody, fantastic people, and I love you guys. But from a business standpoint, it's the tools, it's the way they operate, it's their philosophy, it's their tenacity, right? Never giving up, always reinventing whatever needs to be done. So all of those tools are fantastic, and they really help complement what it is we're trying to do. Bless you. Salud. Courtney, let's talk about the team thing, because I know you said you used to chase your tail around. How important is it to have a team when the demand is what it is every single day?
It is important, but again, you have to have somebody or a team of people that you trust, because you're giving them access to a lot of sensitive information, right? Your analytics, and you know, do you have an agent? Do you have a management team? You know, what does that look like? Because then they're managing those potential deals for you. And I've heard nightmare stories back in the day from nightmare agents, and you know, we actually had the same agent for a very long time.
Yeah. Good guy too.
A great guy. But you know, they take a percentage of what you make, and it's the same thing for a management team. And you know, you just have to figure out if that's what is important for you. For me, I do have a team, and it's important for me because I'm not a numbers person. To really understand the back end analytics and different metrics and engagement rates and all of these things that I literally, my eyes cross. So I needed help with that. And that's really getting that information and dumbing it down for me, and planning what that content looks like and how to move forward really helps. And a lot of the brands want that information, not necessarily up front, but they want a clear picture sometimes. Like in the media kit, they'll want like what you've done. But if they're reaching out, like if they're making the first, they've already done their work. Like they've seen what they want to see. So they don't necessarily need that data up front, but they always want it in the back after the deal is done. They want to see how it performed. So they want to know that they got their money's worth.
That's when those engagement numbers come into
Yes.
play. So back to the team idea. Where does a team, I know you said numbers, so that's a good one in terms of gathering the numbers, maybe trying to make sense of them. When it comes to the production part, the actual shooting, the editing, as someone who was in TV for a long time, I think everyone assumes, well, you guys have those skills. You used to shoot, you used to edit. Do you still do it? Do you like to do it?
You know what's funny is I did not edit at all.
Not even in Midland.
I mean, you know,
Maybe a little.
That was tape to tape.
I know, terrible.
Tape to tape. Yeah, I edited a little bit, but the bulk of majority of
by
my.
the time we got to KPRC, there was
we had editors, we had photographers that did everything. I basically wrote the script and told them you'd log the sound bites and do all of that and hand them the roadmap, and they would edit it together for the deadlines. But no, I did not have any of that. I didn't have Final Cut Pro experience, which is an editing software, anything like that. No gear. And my team, let me tell you something, my team today is such a fantastic group of people. I don't know how they put up with me. I am the team. It's me. I shoot and write and edit everything. I do have a few freelancers if I get bogged down and I need quick turnarounds, or if I have a deal where the photographer's involved in that, amazing. I'm like, oh, look at me, passenger princess, it's amazing. But for the most part, I am shooting everything myself and editing everything.
So what kind of advice can you give to someone who's saying, look, I'm struggling with this content. I know I need to DIY. What would be a good first step to starting to create their own content?
As far as like the recording side of it?
Sure.
Yeah.
If they need to publish, they're like, I don't know, what do I do? I get an app? Do I, like, what would you?
So, no, I wouldn't do an app, especially if you don't know how to edit. And Instagram is very savvy, so is TikTok. Use their platforms to edit. Edits is very user-friendly, which is in their program.
The Instagram?
Yes, right. It's their editing platform. Everything is there for you, and if you don't know how to use it, you can say, like, you can Google it. It's very easy. And you upload your video, and you just create you can, split your video and your timeline. You can see all of it. You've cut the audio out. It's very easy. Your phone will not blow up if you hit a wrong button. Like, you're not going to lose your video. It's still in your camera roll. You may have to start over a couple times, but I find for somebody that didn't have that I had to learn on the spot. And I've tried different applications for editing, and I feel like Edits is a very user-friendly platform to use.
Would you consider yourself a non-technical person?
Yes.
Okay.
That has gotten technical.
Had to get technical.
Yeah, I had to. I had to, because I couldn't afford it. I mean, you just start out, I couldn't hire all these people. It didn't make sense.
Right.
And so, I had to get technical. I also, the good thing for me and you is that we also had the vision. So even though I didn't know how to edit, I still in my head knew how that story was going to play out. And so when I'm working with a photographer, sometimes I'm like, hey, is that just what, you sure you got that? Or this is what I'm looking like. I give them more information because in my head, I know exactly how I want this to roll. So I would recommend storyboarding it. Like if you, for example, that you want to put something, you have a listing and you want to put this in. Sometimes it's so hard to capture like the nuances of the listing and this beautiful home and things like that. And you have to be careful of neighbors and different things. But like shooting small clips of the video, I think is going to be easier. Don't spend 10 minutes on showing me whatever this floor is, because you're not going to upload a 10-minute video. Keep it very, very simple. And go back and look at it when you're done, because you're like, ooh, that lighting looked weird, that doesn't look right. Delete it and go back and shoot it again. So then by the time you leave, maybe you have 7 to 10 second videos. It's enough. You're not overwhelmed when you start trying to put that on the timeline of your editing software, and you're like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. All of a sudden, this video is 12 minutes long, and you start freaking out. So little things along the way. The other thing that you could do, and not many people like this if you don't like being on camera, is just walk and talk, right? Like, show me the video.
Like selfie style, like this?
Or not.
Just
if you don't want to be on, don't show yourself. Then but use your audio and be like, wow, this entryway is just so stunning. This is what I think is the best feature in this home, or whatever. I mean, I'm just making it up.
Yeah, we come to hooks, and there's a lot of hooks you can use, right?
Yes. So, it just depends on what your level of is on being in the video. And if you're not comfortable talking to the camera, don't do it. Because it's going to seem uncomfortable. The best way maybe to practice is be outside and put sunglasses on, because then no one's really seeing your face. And so, not that that's a bad thing or a good thing, but it's going to allow you to get a little bit more comfortable with seeing yourself on camera.
There's something about that. It reminds me of an Adam Sandler movie where the little kid in the movie is like, every time you put the sunglasses on, nobody can see me.
Right? No, I'm hiding. I'm hiding.
Yeah, right.
Or honestly, take out your phone in your car, put your sunglasses on, and just start talking. You don't have to post this video. Tell me about your day. Tell me about your hair. Tell me about your appointment that you had. Not me, but I'm just saying, and go home later. Don't do anything with it, but go home, just do it. Or wherever it is that you are, just do it one day. And go home later and watch it. This is coming from somebody that never watched herself on TV. I always hated it. I was like, I've already seen it. I heard it. I don't want to see it again. But you need to be able to critique yourself and be able to see yourself and be comfortable with it. Because we are our worst critics. And so if you don't like the way you're saying something, you don't like the way your mouth is moving, or maybe you're looking at your mouth while you're on the video and you're like, why did I do that? I'm not looking at the camera. Oh, that's right, because I was looking at myself when I was being recorded. That's another reason why people are going to skip, because you're not looking at them in the video. Don't look in the middle of your screen, look at the top of the camera. So again, you're not looking at yourself when you're recording. Mm-hmm. But if you're looking in the camera, the person, I'm going to now watch that video and I'm looking into your eyes. Now you're talking to me. So it's little things that you can switch that, again, like now I'm seeing you 3-4 times. Wow, she gets it. She's, like now he gets it. I want to hear more. But don't look in the middle. Don't look at yourself. Look at the camera. And if you can, use your back camera because it's prettier or the lighting's better. But for the people that don't know, just do your videos first. Don't post it and just go home and look at it.
Getting those reps is important.
Yes.
I mean, you think about the earliest shows that we anchored and things. It's like we needed a couple years to get into the swing of it.
Yes.
Where you were able to start putting out of your mind the distractions around you. Because there's a lot of them.
Or when it was crashing and burning and you're like, wow, nobody knew that was falling apart.
All the stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I always say with real estate too, because I'm clearly just still learning a lot of this, but because of the hook part, because we only have that, less than a second, maybe 3 if you're lucky, right? People want to see you and or the property. So ideally you both look good and we can see you both at the same time, but if we're not comfortable yet, that's okay. We show the prettiest part of the house. We always wanted the video that we showed at the beginning of the newscast. You weren't going to see that for a while, but it was the most poignant thing. It was the thing that we had to hook you, right?
It was a tease.
Talk about the original hook. The original hook was breaking news. That's the original hook.
Yeah.
And you can't really use that, or you probably don't want to, but that's right in that beginning. That's what happens, right? It's you, the property. If it's a story, we take the end of the story, we stick it in the beginning. These are some of the tricks that we use.
I'm just going to interject here because I just thought of something. Is his name's Cass? Is that your name in the back, the insurance? Just an example, because you stood up here and did this whole thing about prices and private versus whatever that is. No idea. However, those are great little stories. Like, did you know that, do that, and you could do a poll online.
And you guys
they've got all of that on Instagram. Those stickers are right there. The poll, and let people answer. And eventually, you want to give them the answer, but that's one way for engagement purposes, or to get your information out to the masses and to other people. I mean, especially now, we are in hurricane season. Thank God there's nothing in the Gulf, but once it is, they can't do anything about it anyway. So why not have people, hey, how much are you paying? How much are you paying for your insurance? I don't know. What I'm thinking, I just thought of you standing up there. It's a great idea for you to do story. I don't know if you're struggling to find information or to doing anything like that. Okay. So I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it.
But also for realtors to be able to piggyback off of this kind of information that's so good for homeowners. That's another way to build trust, right? You're in the middle of hurricane season as a realtor. You say, well, hey, this is some of the stuff I know that I can help either that prospective buyer or that seller or just anybody. Becoming that expert in the zip code where you sell most of your homes. I mean, that's a viable way to look at this content in a different way that's going to help you build connections and build trust. Do we want to take questions, or do we? Bob, I know. Hold on a second here. We got to give Bob the mic. If you're not first, you're last.
Okay, Courtney, I loved your tips. The sunglasses tips, the looking in the camera tips. I think they're gold. And I think your single best tip that you talked about earlier, you haven't mentioned yet. And so, right, as a backstory, right, if you're in social media and you're getting, 1 out of about 200 people to engage with you, right, it's pretty average, right? If you're getting 1 out of 100 people to engage with you, right, that's pretty good. She's getting 1 out of 14. Yeah, that's a big deal, 1 out of 14. So when you talked about what you did when you initially post in order to be able to drive engagement at that human level, I think this audience would love it, as this is something that everybody can go do right away to drive their engagement metrics.
I forgot about that. Thank you. I think my biggest pet peeve when I see, or if I've had a question and I comment on someone's post and no one ever responds, drives me crazy. Just go home and find your people that you like to follow, whether they have 50 followers, 50,000, 500,000, a million, whatever. Just go look on a random post that they've done and click on the comment section and see if they've responded to any comments. And that is what is going to set you apart. That's where I chose to not leave my followers hanging. I do have a platform that will automatically send links and different things, so it's automated. It takes the workload off, but I'm still engaging. I'm still liking their comment. I'm still adding into a comment, especially within those first 5 to 10 minutes of posting something. I absolutely will engage, and I absolutely, good and bad, will respond back. Because if someone's going to be negative to me on that platform, they don't know me, whatever, I will respond, because I'm never going to leave someone hanging. It may be a bless your heart comment, but I will respond. And so, sometimes it's not always right away. I'm human, but I will always respond. And I do the same thing in DMs. And it's great because I do meet people out and about, and they're like, "You're so kind. Thank you so much for responding. I know you're busy. I don't bother." I mean, you're not a bother. That's why I'm here, is for that reason. So it's part of my job, right? But I don't want to leave them hanging.
Will you also land that plane? And I think this is a magical thing for everybody here on social, is what does that do for you over time?
Oh, well, it builds your network. It builds the followers and people. It's the trust, right? They know that, oh, wow, she sees me as a person as opposed to a number.
I think it builds authenticity because
Yeah.
you're actually a human that's responding and engaging, and not just somebody who's throwing up content and
Doesn't care.
and doesn't care, or you just go away. And I think that's one thing kind of, I mean, I don't know how old you guys are. I'm 53 years old. I've gone from a life of no internet, Atari, Nintendo. And
We still play Nintendo in our house. Yeah.
I still have it in the garage. It's going to be worth something one day, but no, I think that builds authenticity, because at some point, social media, it's always evolving and changing.
Yes.
But I think going, looking into the future, I think as humans, what we're always going to value is the authenticity of a connection as human people, and that's where I feel like it's important. It's just time consuming.
It is.
And then I was going to ask you guys this question as well, because every time I feel like I'm in my phone, I'm not present to the people that are around me. So when do you shut that off, or how do you shut that off? And put the phone down and say, I'm present for my people. And, say you post something right before dinner and then you go into dinner, and then you're, my daughter at 24 years old will call me out. She's like, "Mommy, put your phone away." Like,
Wow.
Yeah. We're in the
Well,
car.
you
It
raised
is
her
a
right
no
then.
phone zone. Like, we are chatting.
Yeah.
So, when do you do that? Because you obviously have a busy life, and you have a family, and you have people that want your attention.
Correct. Yeah. No, and I get called out for it a lot.
Yeah.
There was one day, both my husband and I were on our phones, and my younger son came in the room. He's like, "Look at you screenagers." Like, totally called us out. Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't stop, right?
Yeah.
But I do, like, the phones are not at the table at dinner.
Yeah.
There are times where I'm like, "I'm done. We're done tonight. I'm done." I put it on the charger and we're watching our movie or we're doing our thing. So I can't tell you I have a certain set time.
Yeah.
But
you're just conscious of it.
yes.
Okay.
And sometimes I do have to be reminded, let's be honest.
Yeah.
A lot of times on vacation, it's such a nice break for me because I don't pick up my phone.
Yeah.
That to me is family time, and that's our time to not work.
Yeah.
And so I'm definitely less on. I'm not gone
Yeah.
because I can't be, but Yeah, it's hard. It's
is
hard.
hard.
You
It's tough.
cannot go dark.
I'll piggyback off of that and say, depending on the audience and the person and the content, there is an ideal time to post.
Yes.
Yes.
So, and that changes
It
over
does.
time. But if you're familiar with the numbers, or you have somebody on your team that's helping you with the numbers, ideally you can work this into your daily schedule, where you say, okay, at 9 a.m., my posts do really well, so from 9 to 9:30, I'm going to post and I'm going to hang in the app. And here's a little trick for you.
I was going to say they give you the information.
They do. And
Yeah.
I'm going to give you another trick. So you get into Instagram and you're in there and you post. Then start scrolling the people that you follow and comment on their posts. Okay? And then you'll see that little heart in the corner pop up. And that'll let you know someone's liked you or commented. And you can easily hit that, go to your post. Hey, thanks, have a great day. Go back to scrolling.
Okay.
So that way
Just be active.
you're maximizing the efficiency of that time. You're not sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
You're commenting, and that's keeping the interaction
engagement.
going and building the network, and then people that go in and see you, right?
Yeah.
And that's a good way to use your time.
Yes.
I do that all the time.
That's
All
a
the
good
time.
tip.
I will say this too. I think this is super important, and this is a message, my public service announcement. If you want your friends and your community to like, comment, and share your social media content, do the same to them.
Yeah, reciprocate that.
Absolutely.
Do the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's meaningful. It's and even if it's not their business, even that if they are not tied to it, whatever, they're just posting because it's a family vacation. It just makes them feel good. They know you've seen it, so you might as well give them the love.
Right.
But if someone is doing this as a business, that helps. It helps the engagement, it helps the growth, it helps on so many different levels that no one's thinking about. So,
And and that timing is good, right? Because you've posted, and while you're posting, you do what she said.
Yeah,
And that's exactly how you.
yeah, and you can like it or comment, but be authentic about it, right? If you don't like it, that's up to you. But
Like every time one of my former weather guys, like Yanez or Staves, anytime I always post something sarcastic. That's just how I do
Yeah.
it, just for the laughs. And they know, like, oh, he's still.
right.
And then, but also because people know us as a team over the years, so people see Courtney in my feed and they're like, oh yes, or they see my name on her feed, like, yes, I remember these two, and it just reinforces those connections. Dylan, what you got? Hey, hold on, Dylan. Let's get you a microphone. We want to get the audio recorded, just to make sure.
So I'm torn between business or creator account, and I understand. It's just I want to be able to show some of the daily life. So I feel like it shouldn't be called business. I'm having a problem with being able to boost, the numbers. I also have a problem with half of my time here and half of my time in the UAE. So I lose people when I'm here, I lose people when I'm there. But the other part of that is the trial reels. I feel like, I'm not sure, I thought both of those would accept the trial reels, but I feel like I need to be reaching out to people I don't know by using trial reels, and I've had it before and now it's taken away, and I just feel like maybe it's because I've flip-flopped. I don't know.
So there's a couple different questions here. So your profile is public, but it's not a business and it's not a creator. You're just
It was business for a while.
Okay.
However, it's not fun to just be business. I feel like it's harder to grow with just business. So I try to show, a little bit of my daily life too. Nothing inappropriate or whatever. I'm just saying. But I'm just saying. It's the real stuff, and it's real stuff that we deal with. So. Anyway, so I'm just torn. Should it be business? Should it be content creator? I know that they kind of almost the same. However, I just think that I'm limited.
Similar in terms of operationally how they work. I think that would be something I'd be interested to research a little bit. I'm not sure that the success or lack thereof should change very much depending on that business versus creator. I don't know that it would make that gigantic.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think what I heard you say is the going back and forth. And that may be the piece of the puzzle where you, speaking of the spaghetti against the wall thing, where we say, okay, well maybe there's, and I did this with a client recently who's not in real estate. Well, she is, but her main thing is big life change stuff, and it's a business. And we said, okay, well, you have your personal and you have your business, and when you create the content that meet, then you collaborate with yourself, essentially, because you want to be able, because the people going for this particular book, they don't want to know about your Thanksgiving dinner, right? The people, so to your point, maybe the people in Dubai don't care about the Houston property or vice versa. So while it may seem more complicated to have a couple different social media properties, there may be a beneficial reason for you. It also complicates things. Now this is what we did in television, where they were like, no, KPRC at one point said, no, we want everybody's social media. So if you want to keep your own, keep it. Now you have 2. Now I got to manage 2. So now I'm managing 2 Instagrams, 2 TikTok. Like, where does this end? So you don't want to dig too deep of a hole for yourself, but it may help you actually. I don't know the answer right now.
Separate, possibly.
Yeah, I don't know the exact answer.
And this might be a conversation when we're done, but why is it that you find that it's not successful when you're not here in Houston, when you're abroad? Are you doing real estate there too?
Yeah, because, well, first of all, I never even used, yes. And so it started 2 years ago. And I didn't use Instagram at all before I went there. So maybe I had 400 followers or something from here. And I go there, and yes, it was interesting. But if I'm going to switch it to business and then promote UAE property, there's not as much interest.
I think you're making it way harder than you think. I think you can be a person that is doing both. And it's fascinating to me, and especially living in Houston, Texas,
I felt like
with that connection.
So I tried, because at first it was personal account. So I tried moving it to business, and I just thought, okay, I'm not growing either way. I lose people when I'm there, and I lose people when I'm here. As it grew, I mean, it did grow to 1,800, but
when did you notice it stopped growing? Was there a moment, or has it?
Oh gosh, maybe I don't know, almost a year ago. Like, I am not, I'll gain 10 and then I'll drop 10, same month.
Yeah, I mean, that's also Instagram, right? Like, I mean, without going into the weeds here, this to me feels very Bravo. Like, you're giving people an insight into the part of the world that not many people will ever go. And I think maybe it's more content than where you are is the problem. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would need to look at the content.
Yeah, but I think you're overthinking it, and I think the fact that you're able to do this job in 2 completely different worlds, let's call it, lifestyles, but I think you're sitting on something that could be very successful. I just think maybe we're going about it the wrong way.
It's adapting. I mean, definitely I was way too shy in the beginning. So, nothing came out comfortably, right? I mean, comfortable, no one.
Yeah.
I mean, it was bad. But, as I adapted, and I needed to hear nothing has to be perfect. And once I started hearing that, then I'm like, okay, let go.
I think it's super interesting that you have both of those lives, right? Like, or both of those home bases. So I think you're onto something. I just think you probably need someone to coach you and to bring you, maybe open your eyes a little bit about what that content should look like.
I think I just need to find the right places where it needs to be, really only professional, LinkedIn, whatever. But, keeping Instagram a little bit fun as well. Otherwise,
well, that is an overall strategy that now you're talking about, which is, okay, what do I do if I have a piece of content, it's a property, where am I putting it? If I have a piece of content, it's the Thanksgiving dinner, where am I putting it? And to your point, I mean, if we just pick one and start there, so you don't overwhelm yourself. But if you want to do a full plan, like, that's totally doable. It's just a lot more coordination, right? Because you can't go dark. And if you're going to choose LinkedIn, it's fine, but then you're there too. right? So wherever you are, now you're creating obligations for yourself.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that they fit your goal. Like Courtney and I talk about this, like if whatever work she's doing, there better be a brand deal at the end, or we're not doing this, we're wasting our time. So for you, it's like whatever I'm doing, it better be connecting me to the people I'm connected with and potentially allowing me to reach out to new people, because if it's not, like, why am I even messing with it? Right?
Yeah.
Questions?
There's
Can I
also
ask one more question before we wrap? Guys,
Oh, we have got one more too
Oh,
on the other side.
okay, apparently we're not wrapping.
Yeah, I tell you what, if we could just maybe wrap and then we'll stop recording and then we can.
Perfect.
We'll mix it
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got time for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Guys, this was fantastic content. I sat here. First of all, you're amazing storytellers. And Courtney, you're telling the story of you wandering around the streets of Midland. And all I could think of as you were talking about, I'm my own boss. And I've got to go hunt down the story. And I'm standing on somebody's front porch, knocking on the door. How many of those in this room say, yeah, that's a listing appointment?
Yeah.
Right?
Interesting,
It is.
yeah.
It is
Yeah.
exact. So the traits that you all discussed today are so applicable to how we all live in so many ways. I wanted to go back. And I took so many notes. Will you talk a little bit more, because one of the things we talk about in our world is time blocking, and you said it, Courtney, very well, is that this was exhausting and I was doing all these things and I didn't even like that job, and then I figured out I can do that job, I just have to do it differently.
Yes.
Would you talk more about what the actual structure of that looks like? Because time blocking in our world
Yes.
is how you lead to success.
So my calendar really, family calendar, right? My husband travels a lot, and so I have to manage. I don't have babies, but I have teenage boys. I have babies, so I still have my house to manage, right? And to figure out where I'm going to be. I've got, they both play sports, and so I've got make sure that they're covered, right? And then I look at what I have coming up for the month. I've got something due, and I know this project is going to be due. Looking at that, I don't necessarily shoot everything on a daily basis. So I take 2 days out of the week that I am shooting my content. Now, whether that's on location or just in my house or whatever, where I'm ready to go. I'm camera ready, the gear is there, everything is, the gear is always there, but that's basically how I manage it. And there are days like today, I don't have anything after this. So we're going to World Cup, life is going to life today and this weekend. But everything is strategically planned throughout the day of shooting content or where I need to be. Is it a meeting? Is it a Zoom call? Just like you guys going out for getting your listings live or signing the deal. So it's really just managing the calendar. Because I don't like big chunks, everything in the month is written out per se, but I do work week by week. So I know where my work days are and where I have a little bit more flexibility of downtime to not get the burnout, right? That I'm not shooting anything.
And by the way, you don't always have to post when you shoot, right? There's so many things where I'll just shoot it, I save it. If you want to favorite it, put it in a folder. If you even want to upload it to YouTube, if you want to upload it to Instagram and put it in a draft. And then when you open your app, you go to your drafts, you're like, what do I have? I have nothing today. I didn't shoot anything today, but you know what I do? I have this slow motion video of my cat falling asleep. And I'm going to put a hook on it, and I'm going to put the algorithm. If you're seeing this, the algorithm knows that you're sleepy. And I'm going to put it out there today, just for fun.
Yep.
Right? So you see little things, just grab them. Grab them while you're there. Maybe it hits you later.
Or you probably have something in your camera roll from an inspection or something crazy or like a cool feature or a oh my God feature that you saw and you can't believe it's in this house, whatever. It's in your camera roll. So it's not that you don't have something, or reuse your content. Took me a long time to do that one. And
we weren't used to
we
that
were
one.
not
Oh
used
my
to
God,
that.
was old news.
Old
Oh my
news,
God.
and I'm a chronological person because I need to know when it happened, right? A to Z. And I'm like, you need to get off that. So once you can kind of let that go, then you have way more content than you think you do.
Well, think about a just listed. right? It's only just listed when it's just listed. So what about for the next 3 months while it's sitting there, right? We got to reinvent. I hope that helped. We got another episode in the books. So Courtney Zavala, God bless you. This is a lot of
Thank
fun.
you.
Thanks, dude.
It was a lot of fun.
We didn't even get to all our stories. We
We
can do that
didn't.
later, though. We'll do
We
that in a
didn't.
future episode.
We'll probably sit here all afternoon.
Yeah. Well, how much wine do we have over there? That's right. Thank you, guys. That's awesome.